The Leica M6 may not be a camera for everyone. First of all, you only have manual focus, there are no options of autofocus, and also you have a manual aperture, you don't have aperture priority mode, and also the camera works fully mechanical except for the light meter who needs a battery. The Leica M6 features a maximum shutter speed of 1/1000th of a second. This is due to the fact that all Leica M analog cameras all have 1/1000th of a second. There's no one which has a faster shutter speed. Of course, that may seem like a downfall, but still 1/1000th of a second is pretty fast compared to a Konica Hexa maybe. The Leica M6 is a classical rangefinder camera, which means you have manual focus only. You don't have the option of autofocus, and there's a small rangefinder patch in the middle of the frame to indicate your shot. You will see that the frames will overlap, which will mean that the shot will be in focus. So here you can see the camera in more detail. Here's the aperture ring, also dependent on your lens of course, but you have to select the aperture manually. Here's the focusing. So again, it depends all on your lens, but here's a 35mm size lens. Here on top is your shutter speed selector. The problem with the camera is if you have the shutter loaded, so if you load your shutter, it will you can press it, so you cannot switch off the camera. What I do is, if I take a shot and know I'm not going to take a shot for a while, I'll put it in the back. I'm not going to rewind, so leave it on and then rewind if I want to take the shot, because otherwise I will accidentally take a shot. And here you can see the shutter speed dial, which goes again up to 1/1000th of a second. The Leica M6 TTL has a bigger dial, but I think this works pretty fine too. Also here on the front you have your frameline selector, so this goes automatically if you put on your lens, here for the 35 according to the lens of course. Here on the other side you have your rewind, so you push it to the side and then you start to rewind on top here, rewinding your film. Here you have your battery, so you can easily screw that off, and also here is your lens mount in order to take off your lenses, which is also pretty easy. Here on top also is your frame counter, so it goes from 0 to up to 40. And also your hot shoe up here and your adjustment for flash. And on the back side you have your ISO selector, so this does not feature the DX automatic ISO selection, so you have to select your ISO manually. Here you can see the rangefinder mechanism in more detail. You can see if those lines overlap, your image will be in focus. Here you can also see the correction of the parallax error, so the error between your viewfinder and also your lens, so the frame lines move accordingly. Here just a quick look at how to load the film into your camera. So you have to open up the bottom plate. It's pretty easy, and then you have a chart which shows you how to load in your film. So you simply take a roll of film, pull it across, open the back, and then put the end in between the take-up spool on the other side. Then you have to put on your bottom plate again, and if you rewind once, you have to see if your knob turns. If it turns, your film is loaded correctly. So the Leica M6 is a fully mechanical camera again. It does not need a battery, so every shutter speed will work at, even if you don't have a battery for example. You just need your battery for your light meter. So the camera features through the lens light metering. Both the M6 Classic and also the M6 TTL featured TTL metering. The M6 TTL adds flash metering and also a bigger dial on top. Also a third LED in the viewfinder to indicate your shutter speeds. But still, I think the Leica M6 Classic works fine for anybody who's looking for a budget Leica M camera. The Leica M6 TTL is a little bit more expensive. Leica M6 usually is available for around $1,000. The Leica M6 TTL goes up to $1,500, so there's a big price difference. In conclusion, the Leica M6 may be the perfect all-round choice for anybody who's looking into a analog Leica M camera. It is one of the most affordable ones and yet features a light meter. The Leica M7 has big problems concerning electronics. And it also needs a battery in order to operate. This again is fully mechanical and also needs just a battery for your light meter. This one has all the frame lines you need. It also is pretty recent model, so you can get one The latest ones are from 1999, so it's pretty a pretty recent camera, considering how old film cameras usually are. And still, this is I think a better choice than a M3 or M4 and putting on a light meter, because you have a light meter integrated, and this camera just works pretty fine. So if you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to comment down below. Thanks for watching, and